I spent the last decade of my life making money online. Prior to that, I spent 10 years trying to figure out how. I wanted to become a millionaire, and I saw online business as my ticket in order to achieve that. Just like you, I came to YouTube to figure out pretty much everything that I know. In this video, I'm going to distill countless hours of my own research into 5 actionable tips that if you watch and you implement, will shortcut your path to becoming a millionaire in far less time than I was able to. As an added bonus, if you watch to the end of this video, I'm going to give you some advice on how you can actually go about implementing this into your life and start seeing some results right away. Let's start with millionaire tip number 1. Just start. If there's something that you want in life, the first step towards achieving it is to get started. Nothing in the rest of this video is really going to help you at all, I'm sorry to say, unless you're willing to start something. So I really can't stress the importance of this enough. Nobody's going to come and tell you that it's time to take action, or that you're qualified enough, or that you're making the right choices. In fact, most people in life will actually advocate against making these choices. Abdaal is somebody that I really look up to for a number of different reasons, but he really is the embodiment of the just start mentality. Just a couple years ago, as of the time of the publishing of this video, he was working as a doctor in Cambridge in the UK. He decided to start posting videos to YouTube to help people with studying, and over time he evolved into one of the best known and most popular productivity YouTubers of all time. Today he makes a couple $1 million every single year doing so, and he spends a lot of time on his channel encouraging and enabling other people to just start their own business. He had spent his entire life in school learning to be a doctor, and he had no sooner arrived that he decided to start his YouTube channel. If he had listened to other people telling him that maybe this was the wrong choice, he goes on record many times in his YouTube videos talking about how people told him that maybe he was making a mistake, he should just be a doctor. He's gone on record saying that he'd probably still be a doctor these days, making 3,000 pounds a month, when instead he's making millions and millions of pounds every single month doing what he loves. In many of his videos, he says that starting the YouTube channel is by far the best thing he ever did in his life. And if he had waited for people's permission to tell him that it was okay to go and be a YouTuber, he likely never would have done it. But because he decided to just get started, he's seen massive success in his life, and I think that's something we can all learn from. Millionaire tip number 2. In order to be truly rich, you need to design your own lifestyle. This is a tip that's not only going to make you rich with cash, but also, and honestly more importantly in my opinion, it will make you rich with time. As my business has gotten more and more successful, I've really realized just how important having time to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor really is. Tim Ferriss talks about this extensively in his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, which if you haven't read it, I highly recommend that you do. But the book really broke my brain the first time that I read it, and it really sparked the digital renaissance that we're all seeing unfold before us every day with remote work and digital nomad lifestyles. At the time of the publishing of this book, and the first time that I read it 10 years ago, this wasn't a lifestyle that a lot of people were living. It was completely unusual for people to be working remote. Most people were still working in offices, and it really rocked my world when I read it because I realized that this whole lifestyle design thing was actually really possible. Lifestyle design basically means that you should find employment or start a business that enables you to design it around your life, that enables more free time and fulfillment in your work. For me, this is exactly why I chose to start a social media marketing agency, or SMMA, for my business, because it was something that I could do anywhere in the world at any time of day. In order to achieve a lifestyle by design, he's got a couple key tips. Number 1 is focus on automation. Create an automated business that helps you free up time. This is how you multiply your time and how you multiply your wealth. Number 2 is outsourcing. Now, the first time that I read this book, there was a term called a VA, which was really popular at that point, where a lot of people were paying people overseas, $3 to $5 an hour to do work for them. And this is still definitely popular, but we've taken it a step further, and we actually have a remote team that we work with for our business. So our entire organization is outsourced. They're all over the world, and we work together as a team. We just happen to all be remote every single day. Our business never would have been able to hit 7 figures per year if it weren't for the incredible team that we built through outsourcing. And his third big tip is called batching. Basically what this means is you combine similar tasks, and it's going to save you a ton of time. Most people don't realize that they're actually working super inefficiently throughout the day, and their actual 8-hour day could actually be consolidated into 2 to 3 hours if they'd really just worked more efficiently. For more info on this, check out my video on how I stay productive for 97% of every day. Again, I'll link that in the description down below. Basically, the whole point here though is to choose a path for your life that enables digital freedom. Find ways to increase efficiency in your business or job, especially as more and more people are working remote, and enjoy the additional freedom that that brings. As I mentioned, I specifically started my SMMA, or social media marketing agency, to enable this in my own life. If you're keen or curious on how to do something like that for yourself, check out my program, the SMMA Blueprint. I'll link that in the description down below. Millionaire tip number 3 is if you want to get really rich, you need to solve specific problems for specific people. This is something that I learned in great detail from Hormozi, who's a great guy to listen to not just for business advice, but for life advice as well. He blew up over the last 18 months or so as the publishing this video. He completely revolutionized the short form content that we're all consuming on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, and he's giving away tons of value for free. I highly recommend checking him out. Now, when you're first getting started in your business or your career, I highly recommend being opportunistic. You just don't know enough yet to be incredibly specific or niche in the business or the services that you're providing. When we were first getting our agency launched, we worked with a number of different niches, providing a number of different services. Over time, though, we realized where the money was for us. We niched down hard, and then we got super focused with the services that we provide and who we provided them to, and we started significantly increasing our revenue. Being opportunistic is how you identify a need, though. You'll never be able to guess these needs until you work with people and you actually enter the market. Being opportunistic helped us to get our first couple of clients, but niching down and getting hyper-focused helped us to 10x our retainers. And it enabled us to be justified in doing so. We became experts, we became incredibly well respected in the space, and it opened up a referral engine for us where all of our peers and peers of our peers all need the same service that we provide because they all have that in common, and we get endless referrals from our agency today. Millionaire tip number 4 is you need to build and work on things that align with your passions. Why build and design a life that's going to feel like work every day? We need to do things that we're actually passionate about. Not only is this going to help you have a massive competitive advantage, it's also going to help you avoid burnout and hating your life. This is a tip that I've seen repeated again and again by all different sorts of leaders, but it's something that I really took from the founder of Gymshark, Ben Francis. If you aren't familiar, Gymshark is like the fastest growing UK company of all time. They were super early to use influencer marketing to grow the company and really flip the whole way that fitness apparel is bought and sold completely on its head. Gymshark's is ubiquitous in the gym these days as Nike. So how did that happen? Ben attributes a ton of their early success to actually being passionate about fitness. They were gym bros and they made clothes for gym bros. He and his friends just created the clothes that they themselves wanted to wear. And there's a ton of great interviews with Ben talking about how he and his friends were just constantly working around the clock because they were so passionate about the business and what they were building. Not only that, they had a massive competitive advantage as well. They knew the customer better than the competition did because they were the customer. This gave them a massive opportunity and they capitalized on it. I've seen this all the time in my own life and business. People oftentimes jump into starting a business or a career because they see other people doing it and having success and they think that they should do it too. Or even worse, they just see people making a lot of money and they see that opportunity and they just jump in and think that they're going to make a bunch of money at it as well. And they might, but they're probably going to burn out because they have no interest in it. This is a big part of why when we mentor people in the SMMA Blueprint, again, I'll link that down below. We recommend that you work with niches that actually align with the types of things that you like to do, the types of businesses that you frequent. Not only is it going to help you close deals easily, you're going to have a lot more fun running your business over time. It's also the single biggest competitive advantage that you can have. All right, millionaire tip number 5 is know your strengths and weaknesses and play into your strengths. If you really want to get ahead in life, you need to be playing your own game. Your strengths are what is going to set you apart, and when you leverage them, they're also what's going to make you incredibly wealthy. Gary Vee is somebody that a lot of people look up to, including myself. One of the big pillars that Gary talks about in all of his keynotes and on all of his podcasts is the importance of self-awareness. If you look at Gary, he's very much playing his own game. He's very true to himself. He doesn't mince words. He's honest about his positions and he doesn't apologize for it. The reason he blew up and was one of the first real business influencers to just completely take over is because he was just authentically himself, love him or hate him for it. My business personally dramatically changed when I finally got honest about the things that I was actually good at and what I was not good at. I'm good at thinking of ideas, building relationships, managing team members, writing stuff. That's it. Anything else I have zero business doing. I suck at operations, process, systems, organization, basically anything that somebody operationally inclined is really going to be great at. Once we figured this out and we got out of our own way and stopped doing the things that we suck at, our business exploded in growth. I'd recommend taking a personality test. No matter where you're at in life, whether you're working a 9-to-5 today, whether you have a successful business, take a personality test and figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are. It might be the best thing that you ever do. These types of tests help enable self-awareness so you can get straight with what you're actually good at and what you're not so good at. Know your strengths and weaknesses, capitalize on them, and double down on them. They will make you a ton of money. If you're watching this video and you're curious about how to start your own business, a really good video to watch next would be this video where I talk about how I took an initial $150 investment and I turned it into the 7-figure business that I run today. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know where you're from in the comments down below and any questions or value that you got from this video. My channel's super new, so your feedback means the absolute world to me. I'll talk to you there and see you in the next video.